Hello and welcome, my lovely little subs. I'm Dominic Black, and today I'm mostly going to be talking about myself. I know, egotistical. But I want to give you an introduction to who I am, where my experience lies, my interests, things like that. Kind of go into a little bit of what my goals with these videos are, and then maybe cover a couple other topics. But not too much in depth because there's something that I want to get into later on and cover a little better. So for now, I guess I'll just go ahead and start with who I am. And it's pretty simple. I'm 33, almost 34. I turned 34 at the beginning of 2018. I have been a part of the fetish and kink community as a whatever you want to call the community, BDSM, taboo. I've been a part of the community for probably 13, almost 14 years now, as a Dom, predominantly for the 13 years. I have been a daddy Dom for the last 2.5, 3 years. But most of my experience lies with being just a Dom. I'm a rigger as well, which means I work with rope, do any kind of things from restraining to corsets, harnesses, suspension work, all kinds of stuff. Now, I haven't really gotten much chance to work with suspensions, so that's something new that I'm getting into. And I'll go into, like, well, when you start learning about new things, tips and suggestions on what you should and shouldn't do. I'm not going to worry about that right here. So I guess I'll go back to the beginning. I got into it, the fetish lifestyle. Most likely, I don't really remember exactly when it started, but I'm pretty sure it was some porn I had seen. I wouldn't be surprised to find that a great number of us, that it's porn. And that's a lot of exposure to that. Um, but I was only 14, 15, so I didn't really have the ability to participate in the community. Obviously, as a child, I couldn't. Um, and then even at 18, 19, in my early 20s, I really wasn't able to because I lived in a small farming community. So finding and actively engaging with others who were a part of that was not something I was able to do. Wasn't until I moved to Colorado in my early, or not early, but late 20s, early 21. It wasn't until then that I was able to engage with the community in an active sense. I went to a club for a goth night, and it ended up that there was a dominatrix there, and that they held events once in a while, and got to know her, got to talk to her, got to attend a couple of the events, and just really was able to get involved in the community. I gained a lot of information and knowledge at that time. And they were very public events, so there were a lot of good and a lot of bad. I'll go more into in another video events themselves and my experiences, but they were some interesting times. Then I moved back to Michigan, went a couple of years without really being able to participate in the community. But then I moved to Detroit for a while, and I was involved with the group in that region. Went to a couple events they housed. I wasn't a member of the group, but I went to a couple of events that they hosted. Got involved with the community again. It was really a great experience. I did learn, again, more stuff there. Um, Unfortunately, due to life situations, I ended up back in the farming community where I grew up and was born, and so now I'm trying to find a community in this area, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not too worried about that anymore. I've got enough experience, I feel, that I could go without active involvement with the group, but I would like it just because it's fun to socialize. You know, we'll see though. I'm currently working on starting my own business for the production of fetish furniture, paddles, things like that. But that's kind of taken a pause recently. We'll see. Trying to push it. Um, what else is there about myself? It's funny because I'm not actually normally used to talking about myself. I'm not really good at it. I always feel like I end up coming off as bragging. Um, but I'm pretty experienced and pretty knowledgeable, at least enough to know when I don't know something or when I could learn more about something. So I'm not above admitting I'm wrong. So if one of these videos I say something and I teach something or inform something and I end up being way off base or misrepresenting the community in some way, I'll admit it. And if possible, I'll even edit that video and re-upload it with the correct information so that that wrong information isn't out there. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be ashamed to admit I'm wrong. Um, Now, I do believe in learning. I do believe in exploring and trying new things. It's why I've only been a daddy dom for 3 years. It was part of an exploration with the submissive at the time, and I kind of realized it was what I had always wanted. I loved being a dom, but I always felt that it was just not quite complete for me. There was something that wasn't there, and then when I discovered being a daddy dom or a caregiver, um, I really found what I felt was missing. And that kind of actually goes into some other things I wanted to talk about in this video. Um, but before that, I did want to kind of cover what I feel the community is at its most basic, what the lifestyle is at its most basic. I was recently asked by my submissive. She was trying to discuss with one of her vanilla friends what fetish and BDSM and kink and the lifestyle in the community really is and what that means. And she made the statement that she didn't want like all the technical stuff and what all of it like really meant and all the letters and different things. And she said that she tends to get very too technical and gets too detailed, and she was looking for a very simple explanation. And it was interesting because when she said that, I realized, I mean, I'm in the middle of going, oh well, yeah, oh, and I'm like 2 or 3 lines in, and I realized I'm doing the very thing she's saying that she does and doesn't want to do. And I realized that I tend to explain it pretty technical and pretty complicated. I get into, oh, well, BDSM's bondage, discipline, dominant, submissive, sadomasochism, and then explaining. And I put too much out there. And so I kind of stepped back and I really thought to myself, well, what is this lifestyle? What is it at its most basic, its most simple? What is a DS relationship? What is, and I mean, if you don't know these terms, I'm going to go into them. Don't be afraid to ask in the comments below. I will go into them, so I am sorry if I'm confusing you with some of the terms I'm using now. But like I said, I don't want to get too technical. I want to get to the root of it and the core of it. Because I even said earlier, or I hope I did, you know, with me as a particular, that I'm a rigger, I'm a dom, I'm a daddy dom. Well, what does that mean at its base element? And to me, it means power exchange. I really feel that almost all elements within a fetish lifestyle, BDSM and kink lifestyle, they come down to a power exchange. Whether it's the dominatrix and submissive, um, master, slave, owner, pet, caregiver, little, um, the rigger and rope bunny, uh, whether you're doing an impact scene or a pure domination scene, verbal, where you're demeaning them, whether it's sexual or non-sexual, whether pain's involved or not. And don't get me wrong, I mean, come on, we all do love pain, but it's not always involved. Um, in the end, it actually is about exchange of power. And what that means is one person is willfully foregoing their power over themselves or their decisions or their body or their sense of freedom and giving that to another person. So when you commit to the idea of being a submissive, you are committing to the idea of exchanging that power and giving that power to the dominant. If you're a rope bunny with a rigger, you are foregoing your power and you're giving it to the rigger and letting them restrain you and trusting them to protect you and trusting them to provide for you and your needs during the scene. If they're doing impact, you're foregoing power. And that's really what it comes down to. And that's, to me, that's the most basic side of what this all is. Some of us crave that power. Some of us need that to feel complete. We need to be given that power. And some of us in the community need to let go. We need to forego and give away that power and have somebody else take over, whether it's deciding what we wear, what we eat, or deciding if and how many impacts and spankings we're going to take, or all different elements of it. We need whatever is a part of it. Now, that kind of leads into the next part I want to talk about, which is, kind of advice to the people that are new to things, because I hope and I imagine that new people are going to start at the beginning with my videos, maybe not. And one of those things is, do understand that, like I said just a moment ago, that some of us as doms, we need that power. And there's a healthy need and there's an unhealthy need. So do understand that there are going to be individuals in the community that are unhealthy. A couple of tips that'll help you out, because I was recently asked by somebody, I don't have consent to include their information and name or anything. They asked me, some basic beginner advice, and I think the biggest thing the first thing I said was, take your time. Don't rush into it. You've definitely got time to explore and learn. I've heard a lot of horror stories and a lot of terrifying things from people that rushed into stuff, and I'll go more into that and safety and things. Another thing I said was, don't be afraid to explore. Look into things, learn about them, try it out. Maybe not full blown, but a little bit. Test the water, wade in a little, see if you like it. We're a very open-minded, exploratory community. And if you're being judged for not liking something or not wanting to be a part of something, you might want to find a new group of people, because you shouldn't be. You should be feeling comfortable with your exploration of yourself and within the community. Another element I said was definitely research, look things up. Don't just take it at face value. Check it out. You're wanting to get into rope bondage, then start learning about rope bondage. even if you're the rope bunny and you're the one getting tied up, you still need to know some things, because if you're with a rigger that has no clue what they're doing, how are you going to know if you have no clue what you're doing? And then don't just take one person's advice. Don't sit here and listen to me and go, oh, he knows everything. He sounds experienced, so I'm just going to listen to him. That's foolish. It's stupid. It's going to get you hurt, and it's going to get you in trouble. You need to really check it out. Find other people out there. Go on FetLife. Look up, information on FetLife. Look up community groups. Look up local munches. Go meet up with these people in public. Talk to them. Get their advice. Get their points of view. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. And anyone at any point in time tells you, oh, well, I don't need to really learn much. I don't have much more I could learn about it. Walk away from them, because then they're not willing to even consider that they need to learn. And if that's the case, they're really dangerous, because if they know something the wrong way, they will never correct it, and they will always be dangerous. I'm kind of wandering around in the conversation here, because there's just so many different things I've wanted to talk about for so long. But those are the big ones I really wanted to cover, at least in the basics, which are, again, like I said, I think this is all about power exchange, and I'll go more into that in another video. And, research, explore. I mean, my God, if I hadn't explored, I wouldn't have learned about being a daddy dom, and I wouldn't have realized why I wasn't happy as a dom, why I always felt incomplete. I've met members of the community who describe themselves as evolving, and they describe themselves as evolving all the time. It never changes. It's been years that they've said that, because to them, they're always changing and progressing, and I think we all are. They're just more actively doing so. They're always pushing, they're always pursuing and trying to learn. Sorry if I seem distracted right now. My submissive just messaged me. I'm on a mobile device recording this, so unfortunately I see every notification at the top of the screen. I'm just glad it doesn't actually make a sound, or that would have killed the entire recording up until now. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll have a little more structure to the videos in the future. I've been kind of working on this one for so long, and I got caught up so much in the technical aspect of it that I just lost what I wanted to say and do. And so I wanted to just start recording and start going with it. I don't know what direction I'm going to take these videos. I don't know what they're going to become. I don't know if this will be purely educational. I don't know if it'll be more interactive. I don't know. I'm letting it be whatever it becomes, because I feel that that's more organic. I feel that that's more entertaining to you, because then I'm not trying to control something. I'm just letting it happen. I do know that I do plan on doing educational videos and informative videos and things like that. But as for what else, we'll see. I am hoping to eventually have a way to do interviews with people, sit down and discuss with them, maybe have a little screen split between the two of us and all that fun. But I also know that some people that I might be doing those things with would not want to have it record who they are, so I gotta find a way to put some animation there so that you're just not looking at a picture of something and, the boring static of it. We'll see. I don't know. Unfortunately, I hadn't really thought about where I was going to go with this after that. So, I guess at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and call this video good. And see where it goes from here. if you like what I'm saying, if you're interested in seeing where this goes, please subscribe. Please, please click the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications if you want to make sure to get all the up-to-date newest videos. I'm going to try to record pretty consistently, share the ever-loving crap out of this video, let people know, spread the word. I don't grow and I don't get to share the message if nobody watches. After a while, it's kind of boring if I'm just talking to myself. Not that I have an issue with that, but I would prefer to talk to people. So don't be ashamed to share it. Don't be ashamed to let people know. And I hope that I can entertain you guys. I hope that in the future I'm a little more structured as well. So until next time, remember to stay safe, sane, and consensual.